All right, guys, welcome to Rugged and Ruthless. I'm joined by today Tim and Dustin from Riverbend Patriots. I love the name Patriots. I'm not going to lie there. So we talked a little bit offline a little bit, and we were exchanged some stories and some grievances that we have. But I want you guys to introduce yourself. Tell me what you guys are: Army, Navy, Marines, whatever it may be. Let us know something about you.
So I'm Tim, President Riverbend Patriots, was in the Army. I was over for the invasion of Iraq with the 101st. So then I got out, and then they decided, hey, we need you back. They sent me the paperwork, so I went back down to Fort Benning. They're like, hey, you're fucked up. I was like, oh, thanks. And then they sent me home. They're like, hey. And so fought with the VA for 15 years till I got an attorney. And just this past year, I got 100% total and permanent.
TMP, yeah, that's a good day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm 90%, so, and I'm not ready to go to that 100% yet. I haven't even claimed like any of the mental stuff yet. So
Yeah.
I'm not going down that road just yet. So.
Yeah.
Hey, Dustin.
My name's Dustin, Marine Corps. I did 2 tours in Iraq, 03 and 05, infantry. 21, I think it was. I finally got my 100%. But I was 10% from 07 until then, fighting, and finally got it. And then Tim pretty much started Riverbend Patriots before we went full bore in March, but it wasn't like it is now.
Right.
We got together, and we're both VFW members, and we were having problems with the VFW, other veterans organizations that just weren't doing what they claimed to do. And we said, you know what, fuck it. Let's just start our own shit because we know what needs to be done.
Yep.
We're the ones that's been there. We've gotten the help. We know what these men and women need. At least we can try to help, and that's what we did, and that's where we're at today.
I'm glad you said that because that was going to be the next thing was, we're both members of the VFW, life members, and all it is a dark, dinky bar, and that's all it is they're going for the alcohol sales. Our generation doesn't need that.
No, and that's one thing that I'm a VFW member as well, and it's one of those things where it's like, that's the hardest thing is, being a veteran in today's world, there's a lot of hate. And, with the current climate of the economy and, the way everything is, we get a lot of hate. My CEO of my company, he's a tanker. He was in Iraq. He was on the push. And him and I, he is my 3 o'clock phone call. Yeah. Everybody has their 3 o'clock phone call.
Yep.
But it's never good to have just one. And and as much as we're smiling about it, it is a true statement. Yeah. It's not good to have just one 3 a.m. phone call.
No.
He's called me a couple times at 3 a.m. I woke up one morning, and he's in my driveway, and he lives in Oklahoma. Oh. He's in my driveway. And I said, what's going on? He goes, I just started driving. Okay.
He gives a fuck.
Dude, you got the combination in the house because I didn't want to wake you up, and I didn't want to get shot going through the house. I'm like, well, that's probably true, but if I would have heard the garage door and you would have said, hey, it's me.
Right.
I'd have been like, dude, go take the spare bedroom. He has his own room in my old house, and I have my own room in his house. Yeah, so
that's cool.
He is my 3 a.m. phone call, and being a VFW member is a lot of great things. You get to hear a lot of stories, but
yeah, you do.
And I'm not going to knock on them, but in the same sense, I agree with you. It's being knock on. We had a conversation earlier, when we were sitting at the round table or the oval table, and we were talking about what's the next steps and organizations we won't participate in anymore. And I'm agreeing with you. When did it become corporate?
Yeah.
And it's a hard thing being a veteran and trying to seek help. The VA isn't always there for you. Some of the greatest things I've done, and I get you guys can attest to this, and is just hanging out with other veterans.
It is.
And that's
being there for each other,
exactly.
Healing, camaraderie.
The camaraderie and the fellowship, healing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we all have somebody we lost or know of somebody lost. We all, and I told you guys my story with one of my good friends. 22 a day is a real thing.
Yeah, it's even more of that now.
Yeah, well, I know 4.
Yeah,
personally, and it's like
I know a few.
And the worst part is you guys could have just made a fucking phone call, and I would have been on my horse right there.
How that is. We're not going to do that.
It's an internal battle for a reason.
Very prideful, and asking for help is just not what we do.
Okay, so how do you guys help? With that being said, how do you guys help with those veterans, or what I'm talking about, the 3 a.m. phone call? Right. How do you guys help with that?
So it's one of those things that it's a mental battle for ourselves as well. But preparing, we get a phone call, says, hey, I need help. Either him or I will be on the phone with them, or we go together. So we try to do, if we have to go to their house or go meet with them, we go together just as a buddy system thing, because unfortunately he was with the veteran at our office and he freaked out and kind of went to a little tussle. So now just for safety protocols, we go together. So in that, trying to help those veterans with that, we've partnered with the local police and sheriff's department. So if a veteran has a mental health crisis, because we all know the VA crisis line fucking sucks.
Yeah.
It's pointless. And so all they do is they call, hey, well, I'm going to send the cops to you. They don't offer anything. The cops show up. It just escalates. And so we try to bridge that gap and try to be there for that veteran, just to listen to him, just to be a soundboard.
Like a liaison. More
Yeah.
so.
And it keeps him from going to the next step of hopefully not jail.
Yeah.
And hopefully not to the hospital, because what does that do? That didn't do anything for the fucking veteran.
3-day hold, now you lost
yeah.
your job.
Yeah.
Now things are even worse.
Yeah. And it is a perpetual cycle. And I've known a few guys that have gone down different roads, drugs, alcohol, things like that. And it's never a good thing. Like, and I know guys still to this day, veterans, combat hardened guys that you would want in your foxhole with you.
Yep.
And they just go down that wrong road. And once the dominoes start to fall, it's one of those things where stopping it's hard. It only takes one domino to stop the whole thing from falling, but trying to get to that,
right?
And especially with their mental state, because once it gets that anger and then becomes that embarrassment, and then that's when the embarrassment is more what I'm worried about than the anger, because the anger, they can fight for something. Right. The embarrassment means that they've lost everything, and everybody knows somebody that's gone down that road. So tell me and the people watching and listening, tell me about yourselves. Like, what do you guys, I know you guys are in Alton, Illinois. I love that 5-ton. I just love it, man. That thing is so cool. Tell me what you guys offer, how you guys are. Just tell me anything you want to know, because I have questions,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
it'd be great.
Go ahead.
So we have a multitude of resources. We always say it's what we don't do.
Right.
And I know, again, we've talked offline that there's a lot of pop-up organizations that just boast on Facebook or whatever that they're this and that, but they don't really do anything for the veterans or the community. So, but we do. We have an office. We have a lobby, a lounge, video games, coffee bar, food pantries. We have an information table for all kinds of veteran realtors. Any kind of resources like that they can that they need help with. We got computers that they can apply for jobs or help navigate the VA online for their claims, because we all know that's a pain in the ass trying to navigate that. Especially the older folks, they're not computer set.
Right.
They can't just get on their phone on their VA app like we can and boom, boom, be done.
Well, even that's a pain.
Yeah, it can be. But like we were saying on the way here, just being there, the veterans that know that we're there, they may never come and see us, but they know that we're there, and they have that security that if shit does come down, then hey, these guys got my back. They're there. And I think sometimes that, at least from my own belief, that just knowing that there's somebody there for me, it makes me feel better. It helps.
What's that peace of mind?
Yeah, peace of mind. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that peace of mind. I mean, like, there's one thing my buddies and I talk about is that 3 a.m. phone call. And I've had to make that phone call. My buddies have made that phone call. And, just the fact that, knowing that a veteran can roll in there and just kind of look around and be like, okay.
We're not going to judge you. We've been there.
Yeah, there's no judgment.
The way I looked at it's kind of thing is like being in the barracks. You keep it in the family.
Yeah,
and,
right.
and that's a lot of things is, veterans have a way of finding each other in a crowd.
Yeah,
100%.
And I don't. It's the way they carry themselves, 100%. The way they look, and
the haircut.
Haircut. I mean, let's be real here.
Right.
It's like it doesn't. Well, I like your haircut. That's my best friend. That's his haircut. He wears a sweater all year round, but it's just a whole thing.
I'm too fat for that. I'd sweat.
Well, his is natural sweater. He's like a moose. But no, it's like, and that's one thing that, spouses struggle with that a lot too, is they don't know how to deal with their veterans.
Sure.
Right.
And, and I found that combat or not combat, there's still a mentality barrier there. And,
Oh, yeah.
High speed, low drag. I mean, I was 39 years old when I decided, fuck it, I'm going to start my own business. And when I got into it, it was like I was going on a mission, man. Like, I'm like, this has to get done. And I just kept pushing and pushing. But what happens is with a lot of veterans that people don't realize is it doesn't turn off. And that's something hard that I've realized with me. Sometimes I have to stop and look around and be like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I'm abandoning everybody because I'm so focused. Well, it's hyper focused, you know.
Right.
Well, you know, I always tell everybody that the shittiest soldier working for me is better than 90% of the people that are not soldiers. We would call them Bravo Foxtrots or Blue Falcons,
Right?
But they're
Good old
still
Blue
better.
Falcons.
Yeah, they're still better than 90% of the people that come off the, you know, coming from line units. I had a guy interview me a couple years back with a different job, and he was S4, so he was, you know, this guy was a pogue all the way, but he was great at paperwork, and what I needed him was for paperwork, and even on his shittiest day, he was one of my best employees.
Hell yeah.
And he was a Blue Falcon.
Yeah.
All the way. But you know, what did Bill Gates or whatever his name say? Sometimes finding the laziest person gets the fastest things done.
Yeah.
Because they learn how to figure out things quickly because they're lazy. But so, I mean, how many guys have you helped? I mean, I know you guys have a lot of, you know, looking at it, your Facebook seems like it was blowing up pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was trying to do some research because, you know, when I do this, you know, I'm not much of an interviewer. I'm just more like, hey, let's bullshit, have a conversation.
Right.
So, but yeah, I was looking, I was like, man, these guys are rocking it out. So, I mean, how many members do you guys have there active? You know, do you guys have a full panel board? Do you guys have everything?
I'm the president. He's the vice president. Brad Young is our treasurer. So that's like just our board. So we set it up that way just because we know how volunteer organizations are. It fluctuates. You might get 3 or 4 of your active folks and 25 or 30 that say, yeah, I'm part of this, and then they never fucking show up. So we've just kept it kind of small. So since March 3rd, we've helped, our meeting was last week?
The last 215.
Yeah. So I think right now, we just helped 2 more veterans last night. So we're up to like 235. We've helped like 235 veterans since March of this year. And so, and we also help first responders as well, because I also was a firefighter, EMT for 18 years as well. Doesn't show it right now, but
You're not carrying the hoses right now.
that's right. That's right. So,
no, I'm not on you, but I kind of
we've helped 20 first responders as well between police, fire, EMS, some active duty and guard folks. So, I mean, we stay busy almost every day, and like you were just saying, it doesn't stop. My brain doesn't shut off when it comes to helping veterans or other folks. Neither does his, and we're always coming up with some way to try to help veterans. And just because of that, he got 2 vehicles donated for us. So, but like, we got to find a place to put them, you know, licensing, all that other shit. So, but it just never stops, and it's always constant. Like right before we came in here, my phone was ringing. It was a veteran that's at the VA.
Really?
Who turned them to us? He just left me a message that says, "Hey, the psych doctor was like, hey, he or she thinks that you'd be a good help for me to help get some things done." I'm like,
Well, I've got a couple counselors at Belleville. One of them was my old Army recruiter. He recruited me for the Army. He does that stuff now. So when we get offline, I'll give you guys some branches out for that. He's hardcore, but he knows his shit. So
good.
But I mean, I can, you know, part of, you know, one thing about being a veteran, there's always a million resources, but there's only 1 or 2 that I actually answer. And it's, you know, and it's hard. And when I came home before I started my group, you know, my group counseling, trying to reach out, you're almost embarrassed. Oh, yeah. And I try to talk because, you know, being soldiers, writing that blank check for our country, payable upon death. When you come back, it's like just the transition for me, and I guarantee you guys had the same issue. Having some young kid tell me what to do and never experienced anything in their fucking life pissed me. I was angry all the time. In my 20s, I was angry.
Yeah.
I probably got fired from more jobs than I quit, and then I started quitting more jobs than I could get fired from.
Right.
It took a while. There's a transition. You guys help with that as well, that transitional part?
Yep. So one of the big things is, what did you have when you were in the military? You had a purpose.
And structure, yeah.
So when you get out, not a lot of those folks don't have that, and they're struggling to find it. So we try to help provide that as well with doing our meetings, our events.
With our vehicles.
Yep.
The vehicles are a big thing.
Yeah, the vehicles are, like, we had 5 veterans that rode we got the gun truck. So
The Humvee.
the Humvee with the 50 cal on it, and those dudes that rode
Memories.
in that, they just smile in ear to ear. We drove around the block like 6 times. Greatest day for them. Yep. And it drew them in, and it provided that that sense of purpose and camaraderie and stuff. And so, yeah.
They was in with their brothers and sisters, you know.
Well, well, it's a, Humvees can be good or bad depending on
Right.
what you
Exactly.
need. Part of. I trust me, I know it firsthand. But when I was an Army recruiter out of the Granite City recruiting station,
Oh, okay.
and we used
Very
to do
local.
I used to. The station commander, we were part of the PR team, so when we would go to like the Gateway Motor Speedway or whatever, we would do the simulator with the Humvee, but it was that bright yellow one, says Army of One on it. These guys up there like, oh, America. It's like, dude.
I love the Simeon.
Yeah. But the one thing is like Tony Schumacher, he is, as much as he is what he is, and he has kind of a reputation, he was always there. And I give him credit. Like I used to hang out and I used to smoke in the back of his trailer with his assistant. And he'd come in there like, you having fun? Like, dude, we're at a race, and he'd take his Corvette around. A couple times he actually took the veterans around, running the track with his Corvette. We were there doing events, and he has a reputation for not being the nicest person, but everything I've seen him, it's been pretty cool. And but I have a lot of resources when it comes to that because we did all that, And I know that part of your organization, you guys are you guys a nonprofit?
Yep.
So you guys are always trying to find people to donate and help, and
Right.
How it like. Let me check the time here because I don't know. We can get and talk, and you start talking a lot. How can guys reach out to you and things like that? Like, how do they get involved if local? I know you're based in Alton and Missouri, but we're battling cousins when it comes to that river. But how do they reach out to you? How do they get involved, or phone number, call, or whatever? I know the Facebook, but
So we actually have a website now too. It's riverbendpatriots.org.
Okay.
And there's a direct link to the email and our phone numbers on there.
Do you guys take direct donations? Like, do you guys take it? All right. So during this podcast, I'm going to donate $1,000 to you guys before the end of this podcast. I'll remember you guys at the end of this, because I believe in you guys. I mean, I don't say that very often, but I do believe in you guys, and I know it's hard because, I'm from the country.
Right.
We have three things that we do: fight, fucking fires. That's it.
I like it.
But the
I'm
problem
moving back to the country.
it's the 3 Fs, and but the reality of it is, though, is like a lot of veterans, they come back to the farm. Yeah. And you guys in Alton, you guys, at 10 minutes in any direction, you're in farmland. You guys understand that. Alton's a great place to party, but in the same sense, they have to go back home.
Sure.
Right.
And that's what I like about you guys from when we're talking offline here is that there's always a phone call. There's always a way.
We're always there.
So I mean, it's one of those things where I really believe in you guys. I'm here to support you here at Rugged Ruthless and Duck Blind Mafia.
Yeah.
We're here to help you guys too. We'll partner up with you. But other than that, guys, I mean, what else? What would you like to know about me? I mean, come on, we can have a full blown conversation here. I mean, I'm the one asking you questions because I'm genuinely curious about you guys. So.
Yeah. So what, as far as your stuff goes, like because we tried looking you up last night.
Oh yeah, don't even get me started. That's been, oh my God. We went from an LLC to an enterprise. So we had to re-switch everything around. And the website should have been out this week, the new one. And not so much. We're going back and forth for verbiage and all that stuff like that. And, we switched to an enterprise. That changes the whole tax structure. Oh, yeah. But I make camo, duck hunting stuff like camo, duck halls, but I also have a beer company, a media company. Sweet. And it's all wrapped into one big enterprise, and it's called Duck Blind Enterprise. So it started as a dream. If you guys want to know the story, I'll tell it real quick.
Yeah.
The viewers already know, but you guys are going to have to hear it again. So I was hanging out with some of my buddies, and we have a tradition that opening day, we go and get obliterated. And as I was sitting down in the duck blind one day, I looked down, and everybody has different brand clothing on, but it's all the same camo.
Right.
And I said, fuck this, I can do it better. So I literally in the duck blind, I started an LLC, and then it just started growing from there. Yeah. If my favorite saying is, I don't have to reinvent the wheel to make it better, but if I'm going to make it better, I want to make it mine. And that's something that I believe in. And now I have my own camo, which I'll donate some stuff to you guys too. I got a bunch of stuff coming out. I'll send some stuff your way, jackets and hoodies. I'm going to start the summer line, but we can partner up and put some flags on there.
We've got lots of members that are waterfowl hunters.
Yeah, everybody loves waterfowl. I just came back from Kansas, man.
It's expensive though, man.
Yeah, it is.
Well, we call it legal heroin because once you get it on it,
you're hooked.
Well, but the thing is, duck hunting, my favorite passion, but it's also a great way to sit with brothers because you're not in a deer stand by yourself with a rifle, which is great. Yeah. But I know a lot of my brothers, they don't trust themselves to be out there.
I can understand that too.
With a rifle by themselves here and
Yep.
stuff. Yeah. So, with duck hunting though, you get 4 guys in the blind, yourself and 3 other guys.
Making breakfast and everything else.
Oh yeah, we make breakfast and we talk who has the biggest dick on the biggest duck, and we're doing fun shit and we're hanging out. But the thing is though, for that 6 to 8 hours a day and you're hunting, you're not alone.
Right.
And you're feeling that camaraderie. My best friend, his name is Ray.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
We don't have to talk the Army to know that we are the Army.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those things where it's that unspoken bond. You look over at them, and there's been times, back in our younger days when we were a little more, a little less of that, but like
A little bit more twisted steel sex appeal.
I like that. I like that. But his favorite saying was, "I can outrun the bear, but you can't." And I'd always be behind. We always have each other's backs, no matter what situation. It's like, this is gonna hurt, but we're getting after it, And but yeah, he's my best friend. He's actually the CEO. I actually made him the CEO of my company. So I said, look, man, he's been. I mean, through my darkest days, I've had to call him. I had things like, dude, I need you. He's like, okay, I'm on my way, and he's done the same for me. So that's a brotherhood.
Oh yeah.
That transcends anything.
Absolutely.
When you're Dixon dirt and you're chewing it together,
Kind of hard to.
Yeah, it's you don't lose that. And I haven't seen some of my buddies. If I saw them today, it'd be like we were still back in the box.
Pick right up where he left off.
Hell yeah! Hey, you're married. You have kids now. What the shit? I remember when you were here and so.
Right.
But that's the thing is that we dog each other, but we also we have each other's backs.
100%. 100%.
Yes.
So do you guys take veterans out?
I'm getting ready to start that. So MoVets, I can make phone calls and say, hey, MoVets, which I love their organization. Tony is awesome. MoVets they take veterans out. I'm starting that process because I want to make sure that, everybody knows who we are first.
Yeah,
absolutely. And then but I have lease ground down there. I forget the name of the town, just outside of Cape Girardeau.
Okay.
And, if veterans want to go out, it's easy accessible. I have a side-by-side. Even if they're in a wheelchair, we can get them out where they need to be. So we just cleared some stuff out the other day to make sure that can happen.
Nice.
That's awesome.
And say, hey, y'all want to come out? Let's get after it.
Good shit.
And the guy that runs this place where we're doing this now, Adventures Unknown, he's a big supporter of it too. So
Good.
if I said, hey, we want to get this done, he'd be like, we'll figure it out. Scott's pretty cool. He's a pretty cool guy. So.
Yeah. So is there? You said MoVets. So is there an Illinois chapter on that?
I have no idea. I just know MoVets. I know there's one in Oklahoma because I hunt with a guy. So I know there's one in Oklahoma. But I think, so Tony, I'm pretty sure, started it in Missouri. But once it starts like wildfire, because you'd be surprised the support. I have no idea if there's one in Illinois. I mean, there's probably something to look into. If not, let's fucking start
there
it.
is the Fallen Outdoors.
Yeah.
Really?
Because Fallen Outdoors and U.S. Vet Foundation used to do that.
All I really know about over there.
Well, shit, let's start something. I'll get some more leased property. We can figure it out. I'll get a hold of some guys over there. I was part of Indianapolis Battalion, which in Belleville is where our company was. There's guys out there all over the place that hunt. So,
Well, yeah.
I don't know what it has to do to fix it. I live in Missouri, so you guys would have to kind of head that up, but I can help you guys with
Sure.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Make a pact.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's cool. I mean, do you guys have any more questions or anything? Because we've been on here
I'm solid. I'm good.
Yeah.
for quite a few minutes here now, actually. So, well, 23 minutes. That's it.
Yeah, it feels like about 4.
Damn, I know we're gonna figure out something to talk to. We can take a breather for a minute, and if you want, shit, we get into it. It's like sometimes it goes really fast, sometimes it doesn't.
It does.
Now, the one question I do have is I see you guys got some really cool fucking swag.
Yeah. So we do have an online store.
You do?
Yeah. So you can go on our Facebook page. There's a link, and then also on the website there's a link on there. You can go to the store, and Logo, it's the one that's doing our stuff right now. So the hats, t-shirts, sweatshirts, stuff like that. So we're slowly building that. We want to get more on there, like stickers and stuff like that. But
I got a vinyl guy. He's really good.
Yeah.
I can hook you up, and he's fairly cheap.
What about
so.
challenge coins?
that's
Because
expensive.
they're expensive. I know there's a million people that do them, but obviously everybody's trying to find a
The challenge coins is different. I have never really looked into it. Now I do want to get one if you're like so. I was actually going to look into it. I haven't started it yet, but I have a million other things going.
Right.
But I want to get challenge coins. It's like welcome to the mafia, mafia. I want to get some stuff in there,
Nice.
like have something cool, and then have like Army and have all the logos on it. But I've somebody was telling me the other day that it's hard to get some of like the military logos put on there. You have to be a veteran. I know you can do it. I heard you could do it through GovX.
trademark or something.
Yeah, because they got to remember, America is a corporation.
Mm-hmm.
people think that it's a government, it's a corporation, and everything comes along with it is branded under that. So somebody's telling me, it's like, no, man, you gotta go through all these steps. I'm like, why the fuck would I want to do that?
Right.
I served. I mean, I have my plaques and all my stuff, and they're just great door stops at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, they look good. Like, I don't have an office. I refuse to have an office. I don't know about you guys. I don't want an office. I'd rather be out on the street. Like, it's like, we're going to have to get an office. I'm like, fuck no.
The only reason why we got an office is because the Illinois requires that you have
so
to
you
have a
one.
business office.
I mean, technically my apartment is my business office, but, you know. But I do, I mean, you know how it is, guys. You get to working on something, time just fucking
it does.
flies, man.
It does.
Like, I have a 7-year-old son, and he's like, Dad, when I grow up, I want to be in the Army. I said, nah, you want to go Air Force.
Air Force or Coast Guard.
Yeah, something. But he really loves it. And you know, he plays like Call of Duty and stuff. He's like, Dad, you want to come play with me? I'm good, man. Seen enough of it, you know. Yeah. Every now and again, I'm like, all right, let me whoop your ass real quick. And he's over there talking crap, you know. And I was like, let me go whoop your ass.
We do our office too.
Yeah.
Now, do you guys do like car shows or anything? Because I know that brings a lot of stuff in.
Yeah,
car show stuff.
We've not just a car show alone. We've incorporated with some of the other events, having a car show come to another event that we're doing, like the wall and stuff.
Oh yeah, the wall thing.
The wall, yeah.
I was
we still got to talk about that.
Okay, so I've been to Perryville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I've been there.
That's nice too.
Yeah, I mean, but they vandalized it not too long ago. Somebody came in and vandalized it.
No shit, I did not know.
That was like 6 months ago or something like that. I'm like, I said, I have a meme that hangs up in my, like, I saw it online, and it says, well, everybody's praying for God and asking for help, stand behind the veteran because he's the one smiling, returning fire. And that's on my wall, you know.
I like that.
But my thing is, though, it's like, if there's one way to piss somebody off, get your ass whooped real quick, go fuck with a veteran's wall. Oh, yeah. Go mess with that. Because anybody catches you, veterans are going to have no remorse.
Yeah. No.
I'm ready to go to jail over that. I'm ready.
Yeah, I mean, I always said I'll smile in pinstripes.
Yeah.
I'll smile in orange. I don't care. There's two things I defend: my brothers and my family, and that's it. And I live by that motto.
Yep.
But yeah, so tell me about this wall. I mean, I was looking at some of the pictures. It's pretty badass. Yeah.
So in 2019, before I actually started the Patriots, I did the Vietnam Wall. So the one out of Texas, it's like 80% of what the replica is in DC.
That thing's massive.
It is. We can talk about that too. We just got back from DC in November with legislators. But so a couple of years later, Dustin and I got hooked up together, and we were like, what? We already did. So we honored Vietnam veterans because that's our job as veterans is take care of each other.
Yep.
And that's my biggest thing is we got to take care of each other. So we did that. It was a great experience. But then we were like, let's look what our generation has, and it took a little bit, but then we found it. So it's the Global War on Terrorism Wall of Remembrance. And Brian Romans is the curator of the wall. He's down now, and he was in Indiana, and he's with Alabama. Yeah, he's down in Alabama now. And so we brought that in the very first year, and when it comes to this stuff, like I said, my brain never stops. So we had a 2-mile-long procession of an escort to bring in the wall into town. And as we were pulling in, we left from Wood River. I don't know if you remember where Wood River is.
Yeah.
So down by the Walmart area.
Yeah.
To where the airport is in Bethalto. When we were pulling into the airport, they were still coming out of the staging area. So I bring in helicopters, tanks, all kinds of military memorabilia and stuff like that. Guys just from around the area.
Motorcycles, cars, trucks, Jeeps.
And then we did it during
trucks and Jeeps.
Jeeps. Yeah. So the very first year we did it in conjunction with the fly-in that our local EAA chapter does. And so it's easier to bring an aircraft because of the airport, because of that, because it's technically considered an air show, even though they don't actually do any actual acrobatics or anything like that. So the first year that we did it, we had 12,000 people.
Jeez. That's
so
awesome.
And it was just the wall, and that was the centerpiece for our portion of it. And we're bringing it in, and that was our sole goal was to bring that in so veterans in our area could come heal. Because we have a lot of brothers and sisters on that thing. And so that wall has all the service members that died in the War on Terror from Beirut all the way up to the 13 that just died in 21.
Yeah, I live in Wentzville, and one of the guys
Jared.
is from Wentzville. Yeah, so there's signs that, that's one thing I'll give the city of Wentzville mad props for. There's stuff about him everywhere. They name cool. Oh, dude. So Mayor Nick Guccione, he's a friend of mine, and one of the captains of the police, captain of the police. They're no joke. when it comes to state-wise, Illinois has their problems, and trust me, they have their problems, but it is a veteran-friendly state. Missouri is less of a veteran-friendly state than that. I could get free college over in Illinois, but in Missouri, I don't, but that's one thing, these small towns banding together, and Jared, as soon as you pull in, there he is.
Everywhere, yeah.
And let somebody talk shit on those 13.
Right.
Yeah.
Let them talk. I mean, because down where we're at, there's, I go to this place called Friendship Brewery every now and again, and they've got the Fallen Soldier Monument. And, dude, it's like, these communities, as much as like the government, and I'm going to say it, I'll probably get banned for something because let's be real. But as much as they say, all this stuff, those local communities, man, they pull together.
They're the ones that make it happen.
Yeah, I mean, we're the crossroads of the nation where I live in Wentzville, and, dude, they're patriotic. And you'll get your non-ones, but they don't say anything. They
just be quiet.
They'll look at you and they're like, I mean, on one of my cars, it says, "Don't tread on me." Yeah. And let me tell you what, don't tread on me. I mean, I had 2 flags hanging up, and Aaron Lewis made a great song called "Country Boy."
Yep.
And Charlie Daniels at the end said, he said in the beginning, I had 2 flags fly above my land. Yeah. One is the American flag, one is "Don't tread on me," and that's how I live my life.
Absolutely.
That's a great feeling.
Yeah.
But that wall thing is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
My question is, how did you even get started on that? Like, I said one day, I'm like, I'm going to have a wall.
So it stemmed from like doing the Vietnam Wall. Mm-hmm. So we wanted to do something for our generation.
Yeah.
And it was trying to find it. There's a couple of, like we was talking earlier, the fly-by-nighters. But this is like a legit deal, and it is huge. It's 200 foot long.
Jeez.
But it's got
the
all
picture doesn't do it justice.
It just, you got to come out and see it. Yeah. And with all the names on there, it's also got all the firefighters, police, EMS that died on 9/11, as well as all the civilians that died in the attack. And on the other side, it's got the timeline.
They're still dying too. I mean, those guys from all the cancer and stuff. I was reading that. It's amazing.
At the very end of the wall, there's probably going to, unfortunately, be another panel.
It'll be another.
There's 2 current panels at the end that are not printed. They are handwritten with Sharpies, for what we talked about earlier. Mm-hmm. And, the ones that left the war, but the war didn't leave them.
Yeah.
So there's that opportunity to write in, some folks that you lost.
Well, I can add a name to it too.
Yeah,
so I know I actually named a couple, but
yeah. But it's on display 24/7 for the whole time we have it. So I mean, I know some veterans don't like crowds, or they want to go and see their brother or sister, and they want to be by themselves. They can come at 3:00 in the morning if they want to. They can be fucking trash or wasted, leave the bar and want to come and just sit there and maybe have a drink or smoke a joint or something with their buddy. They can do that. We provide security, all night long.
Yeah, and that's pretty awesome.
For the vandalism reasons,
that the vandalism thing just fucking eats me alive. Mm-hmm. And it's never the veterans.
No, hell no.
It's never the veterans.
It's the shit bums.
Yeah, and that's something that we all face, and but God always guides us on our way, and I found religion through it all. Religion, I grew up Catholic and family. And I'm thinking, what the fuck, But religion found me through that.
Yeah.
I still drink. I still smoke. I still do all those things. I am not a saint.
Right.
But nobody is. The truest heroes are the ones you never thought would be there.
Sure.
Courage comes from within. It doesn't come externally.
Right.
And it's a lot of the guys that I talked to. I got a good friend. He was a ranger, and he's a great guy. Love him to death. But you could tell where he puts his sorrow.
Yeah.
He hides it, but he also lets it go in the bottle.
Yeah.
And, and it's one of those things where it's like we get together and he slows down. And his wife said a few times, like, he slows down when he's with you. I said, yeah, because he's not hiding from anything.
Yeah, he can let it out.
Exactly. He doesn't even have to let it out. He just knows that he's got my back. I know that no matter what I do, I'm going to be embarrassed, but he's not going to judge me.
Right.
And that's something that, with your organization seems like that's pretty good. And, I'm next time I'm up in that area, when I go to the loading dock, I'll run down. I mean, it's right down the road. I generally take the long route because I go to take the ferries across.
Yeah.
So you come the other way.
I come because I live in Wentzville, so it's easy for me to go through there. Yeah.
Ferry or whatever.
Now, do you guys have any local spots like bars and stuff like that, or anything like that they're like, hey, we're part of this group up here, and we go out there. You guys do any hangouts and stuff like that, or?
So we just did a Bloody Mary competition back in October. Roper's Regal Beagle, and Blue Stem Vodka in Meadowbrook. Yeah, okay. It's probably the smoothest vodka you would ever have.
Really?
Oh,
local business.
And it's locals.
Local.
Yeah, They supplied all the vodka for the competition and stuff, and they just did a donation drive for us where they for Veterans Day actually while we were in DC.
Their distillery.
Yeah.
So
I'm already all ears on that.
all of their tips was donated to the Riverbend Patriots, and then that was what they told us initially, and then they ended up matching that.
Really?
Yeah.
See, and that's the kind of things like, so where I'm from a small town. We don't have a bar in the town I'm from, so we just go to the nearest town.
Mm-hmm.
And there's one bar that's really veteran, like the veterans go there because it's $10 all you can drink on Veterans Day.
Oh, wow. That's dangerous.
Well, the funny thing is I used to live literally across the street. Like you walk out the front door, there was a business, and I lived in this loft when I was younger.
That was easy.
Yeah. Just crawl up the street.
Right.
There's times I didn't make it upstairs. and I'm going to tell you, and it was easy because like, whatever, but a lot of them like, I've noticed a lot of businesses now are getting rid of like their veteran stuff. Did you guys notice that? Like, you used to get meals all day. They would pack you a plate, whatever. And I've never been one to partake in that because I'm capable,
Right.
Whatever.
Same way.
Yeah, but it's like every now and again, it's like, shit, I forgot it is. And I forget it's Veterans Day. Because my biggest grief, and I'm gonna say this on camera, my biggest grief is, how the fuck do we only get one day?
Yeah, no shit.
How the fuck do we only get one day?
Every day.
The Patriots founded this country, and we get one day.
Mm-hmm.
Memorial Day is to remember, but Veterans Day is for the ones that are here.
That's right.
One fucking day.
That's right.
I get so aggravated that people are like, oh, it's Veterans Day. I'm like, yeah, but by the time I get off work, I don't even get to enjoy it.
Right. And now the kids are getting out of school Veterans Day.
Yeah.
I didn't see them in formation, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
They went there on that PT
It's
run.
like, hey, wait a minute. It's like, wait a minute here. I want my kids to be at school so that way I can enjoy it. Right. But,
Speaking of that, just like going through this whole process of helping veterans get like their VA stuff and navigate that. And then these kids are like, well, it must be nice. Well, goddamn, recruiter office is the same place.
Yeah.
Go sign up.
I love how you guys are both on the same page. Well, the recruiter's office right there, and I was an Army recruiter for a while.
You
And
could have went there too, just like we did.
Right?
yeah, I was an Army recruiter, and I'm going to tell you, 9 times out of 10, the people couldn't qualify with that 32 on the ASVAB, and or 31 or whatever it is. I don't even know what it is now. Even with waivers, couldn't go through. And it's like one of those things where it's like, holy shit. Mm-hmm. When did handouts become handouts? And I mean true handouts.
All right.
And, veterans are sitting here fighting to get, because I think I started with 40%, then I got 70%. I just kept fighting and fighting. I hit 90%. And my rating just came in last year. I'm 43. I joined when I was 18.
Right.
I'm 43. I'm just now hitting 90. And I'm like, but I mean.
Now they're getting out with 100% immediately. Some of these veterans, they're getting out of the service.
Oh, my back hurts. Remember that was the whole thing. My back hurts. My back hurts. My back hurts. Well, I have.
Fucking back hurts.
I know my back hurts from sitting down too long. I'm old now. Like I just drove to Oklahoma last week and picked up my buddy Ray, and we went to Kansas. Big shout out to Big Kansas. I mean, those guys are freaking phenomenal guys. We went out there and I complain more about my back hurting, my foot falling asleep, driving my truck, and we just bitched. I mean, this thing is, well, it's cold out. Yeah, my back hurts. So my leg hurts. My knee hurts. I'm like, you're a tanker and you're 5'2". He's really 5'10", but I'm 6'3". Like, you're 5'2". We have a running joke. So like, when we go places, I have this booster seat, and he gets in there, and I put the booster seat.
That's funny.
Ray, I'm sorry, dude. I had to tell him.
We'll have to see that.
Oh yeah, I have a picture someplace. We got really. Evansville, Indiana. He was a multi-station commander out there when we were in recruiting, and we went one night we were drinking. So we went to casinos. We went to the Evansville casino, and then we went to the dog track in the Kentucky side. With the slot machines right across the river.
Right.
And we get down to our it was so much fun. And we get down there and get down to our last $100. He's like, do you know how to play roulette? I'm like, I don't know. So he gave me $100. I put it down. And I bet on black or bet on red. I don't remember what it was. And we ended up winning. Well, then we got the addiction of it. I think we walked home together. Like, we were down to the last $100 combined. I think we walked home with like $8,400. So we went to, I always say Margaritaville, but it was Cheeseburger in Paradise. I got it right this time, Ray. Get over it. And he's like, I got to go to the bathroom. We've been up all night at this point. 'Cause you know how when soldiers get together, when they party, we party. Time is not a real thing. So he's like, I got to go to the bathroom. So I grabbed the waitress and said, hey, I need a booster seat. I Put it in there. He gets back. He said, "What the fuck is this?" I'm like, I was laughing so hard. Everybody around me's laughing.
That's awesome.
He still gives me shit about that.
That's what it's about, though. You know.
Yo, I mean, that's a brotherhood. You know.
You can do
Break each other's balls and
Oh, dude.
Nobody else.
That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna make fun of you every day of the week, but I promise you nobody else will.
We're all gonna fuck you up.
and if you're not, then something's wrong.
Well, and that's the worst thing is even in a bar where you don't know anybody or you're doing whatever. Once one veteran spots another veteran,
Yeah.
I don't care if they're
We're all-
friends or
we're
not.
good.
It's
We're locked in.
That's why we just leave at this point. I've got like 6 minutes left in me, and I have a 7-year-old, so I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna have to use that at some point because my 7-year-old is 4'2" and over 100 pounds. It's 7. He just turned 7 last month.
It's a big boy. Yeah.
Oh man, get him on freaking Fortnite or Call of Duty. That dude talks mad shit.
So that's why I don't do online because of those kids right there.
Oh
Fucking
no,
shit
but
goes-
he's good. That's the thing is I watch him. I'm like, he's like, Dad, play with me. I'm like, well, good kid. Now Call of Duty, I'll whoop his ass because I played every generation of Call of Duty.
Right?
And I'm like, oh, M4 or whatever. I'm like, oh, now this one thing you get that lean over function. Let's start capping. He's like, Dad, you're cheating. I'm like, no, I'm just that good.
Yeah.
Now Fortnite, I don't have a chance.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, he's hacking. I'm like, how do they hack, dude? He goes, they got something. I'm like, how do you even know that?
Right.
No, he goes, how do they? I go, well, that pissed me off as we play because I was always a sniper. I like the long distance shit.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, you're a camper. I'm like, what the fuck do you think a sniper does?
Yeah, exactly.
He's not running and gunning. I'm hiding.
Right.
But yeah, so I mean, what do you guys personally do for fun? I know you guys, your job is very stressful, and I know it is. I mean, my job's stressful, but dealing with veterans because you never know what you're going to get each day.
Right.
One day could be like, hey, we're hanging out, we're having a beer, maybe getting some whatever, and the next day all hell breaks loose, especially on the high holidays. My high holidays: 4th of July, Memorial Day, Veterans
Christmas,
Day,
yeah.
Christmas, Thanksgiving.
Yep.
I spent Thanksgiving this year alone. First year that I could say I could honestly do it, and was okay. I watched the entire Ted Lasso series because my son was with his mom.
Yeah.
So I watched all of Ted Lasso. I ordered like 40 chicken wings from Pizza Hut, and I just had a fucking day.
Nice.
Loved every minute of it. So, but what do you guys actually do for fun? Like you guys get a day, or you don't get, in your organization, you don't get a day off, but you know what I mean. But you get, hey man, it's a cool day. What do you guys do for fun?
I can't tell you last time we had time off like that.
We went to D.C.
Yeah, we did do that.
Did you go to Smithsonian?
We tried.
No, we didn't.
So I went there last year, and I couldn't get in. They were doing some private event. I couldn't go.
It was.
We did so much shit.
I wanted to go to Air and Space.
That's where we were going to go, but
Yeah.
we went out there. We actually got invited out there to meet with legislators. So like in our area, so we met with those folks while we were out there. But we hit up. So since we're both 100%, that opens up the opportunity to stay on any military installation.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
With your ID. So made reservations at Quantico. We stayed at Quantico.
You stay at the hotel.
Stayed at the hotel.
Nice.
And you could see, because it's where HMX-1's at, where the Marine Corps, the Marine One for the president. So we'd sit there, watch them flying all over the place and
That thing
whatnot.
flies around a lot. Because
It
when I was
does.
in Washington D.C., we were staying in. There was like this real ritzy spot where we were doing this convention. I was in recycling, and it flew over. But it was actually the president because there was one trailing, so the president was actually
Right.
flying over.
Right.
I'm thinking, what the shit?
Yeah.
It's like, and it's surprising they fly really low.
Yes.
I'm thinking they're up high, something. Yeah, but they were buzzing us. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
But that's the first time I've ever been to Washington D.C. So
Yeah, we got to do we went out to
We got
Arlington.
on Veterans Day.
Yeah. We got into D.C. on Veterans Day.
did you guys see the changing of the guard?
Well, that's yeah. But we got there on Veterans Day, and they do the big ceremony in
Yeah.
Arlington. So we weren't even thinking.
Right.
We wanted to go to Arlington, so we went to Arlington, and then we literally walked up to the gate where for the trams. They're like, this is only 2 more people can go up to the ceremony.
Right. It was him and I.
Ceremony. I'm like, oh really? It's Veterans Day, the president and all that shit. We're like, fuck, let's go. We're the last 2. We got to go up there, and we set up to that whole thing, and it was. I've never been to that. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I've never been to it either. And we were there. I wanted to go to Air and Space. I was there for a recycling convention. That's what I used to do. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna get on the. They have, like we were just across the bay, and you could see everything. When you fly in, you see. I mean, when you fly in Washington D.C., you see everything. Like I'm gonna go, and they're like, oh no, it's closed. Private event. I'm like, what the fuck?
How do you private event that? That's a lot of money.
I've never
Money.
been-
Right, it's got to
well,
be a lot of money.
it was probably senators or something. They were probably doing
Yeah.
something there. But yeah, no, I was just blown away. Because I'm a Freemason too. So like seeing like,
Too.
We went and seen the.
We went there too.
did you really?
Yeah.
God, I would love to. I want to go. That was one of my things on my list too.
We did see the changing of guard too. That was emotional. That was
Yeah.
Not believe it. I mean, that's one thing that's one of my bucket list stuff. There. So I went to Boston, saw where the Boston Tea Party was.
Yeah.
I got emotional with that. I was like, because I don't know if have you ever been to where the Boston Tea Party happened?
I have. Yeah.
I didn't realize they have a real box from the Boston Tea Party downstairs, and I'm like in the boot tea.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no way. And I'm thinking, it kind of looks like it. But like, you see the box, and it's got flowers and stuff on. It's like, oh, this is original. It got washed up in the show. I'm thinking, there's still pieces of that shit here. Being in Boston to me was sublime, because that's where it all began.
Yeah.
Boston, Philadelphia. That was all I loved.
Well, that's my bucket list is Philadelphia. The next one I go, and I'm probably going to go, probably, because I like to take like, into like my road trips, like I like to go by myself. And because it's like, let's be real, you take anybody else, like, oh yeah, we're going to see this, it's cool. To me, it means so much more. Seeing where I mean, I have the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution on my freaking fridge in my gun safe.
You see the
like,
Freedom Bell and all that.
Yeah, the Liberty Bell, yeah. I saw National Treasure.
Yep.
I saw National Treasure.
So, and what's odd about that is, so we had planned to go, when we landed in D.C., we were planning on driving to Philly, because it's only 3 hours away, or 2.5 hours away.
We landed at like 9 in the morning.
Yeah, we got
Until 4 p.m. So.
right. So we're just going to go up there and go see where 10 Tavern and all that stuff is, since he was in the Marine Corps. Well, it was like, well, let's go see Arlington real quick. And I'm so glad that we did.
So glad we did.
Because we got to see that. We got to see the ceremony. You got to see the president, vice president, the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and all those guys. Stacked dudes.
The real 21 gun salute.
The real
with
21
cannons.
scared the shit out of us. We're sitting there, and next thing you know, those things go off. We're like, oh my god!
Cemeteries just smoke.
Yeah, so it was. So I had a similar. I don't have anything to Arlington, but this past 4th of July, I went to Gettysburg. I drove out to Gettysburg, watched it. And the funny story about the Gettysburg is I like military history. I love history. I love military history, but I like American history on top of it, because the military stuff, with the Marines coming from Britain and things like that. There's a lot of things that transcended over. But I was on the phone. I was like, man, I said, well, I know Gettysburg's coming up. And then all of a sudden, there was no birds flying. There was nothing. And I could feel it before I even got to the battlefield. Like, I was like, I got to let you go. And I humped the phone, and I could feel it in my gut. And it was like that brotherhood feeling, and I'm also like, what the hell? I look over, and there's Gettysburg.
Yeah.
And people, when you get to Gettysburg, like if you've never been, Gettysburg is very massive.
Yes.
It's not the one you see on TV is like the small battlefield,
No.
but Little Round Top, Big Round Top, they're miles and miles away. This was a fight that just kept moving. So then, of course, I went through everything. I saw where Lincoln did the Gettysburg Address, things like that. Well, on my way, I left there. I went to Cleveland, because there's a place up there that makes really good a really good albino stout. And one of my ex-girlfriends was from Ohio, so I was very big on like, oh, I'm gonna go to this place. Well, I passed out the Flight 93 memorial, so I had to stop.
Yeah.
Because I joined the Army April 4th of 2001. I joined before 9/11. So I was like, as I'm driving, it says, oh, it's here. And it is so secluded, but it will give you chills. Because, you can still hear the phone calls from when they were calling. No, I don't know if you know this. You can listen to the phone calls from the people on the plane.
No shit.
They were calling their family and say, hey, they took over the plane. Would love you, but we're going to try to take it back.
Yeah.
Because at that point, they knew.
That just gave me chills.
I get chills there because I pulled in there. I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. Because 9/11 changed my life. Like, kids nowadays don't understand. It changed my life.
It's a whole reason why we joined.
I joined before, so there was nothing going on. There was literally nothing going on when I joined. I had just finished. I had literally finished basic in IT when it happened. The day it happened, and I was actually supposed to be on a flight to go to Korea.
Damn.
Oh,
Yeah,
God,
think about
Korea.
that for a minute. Wow. Yeah, that was my first duty station. I was active duty, but I drove by there and I couldn't go any further. I stopped and said, I just can't, and I just turned around and I left. But the whole way to Cleveland, I thought about it the entire way. Like, them motherfuckers were hardcore. I'm sorry, they knew they were done, and they said, "Fuck it, we're not going to bounce die." That to me is hero. And so I drove through. It's almost tearing me up because I was like, I couldn't pull it. I couldn't go any further because I'm like, y'all made a sacrifice, and I avenged you, and I'm proud of that.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I avenged you. Anybody that was in that kept going avenged you, and we still will.
Yeah.
And and I'm not one to get political, but you notice how all these wars are starting to kind of end right now.
Oh, yeah.
And a particular individual has not taken office yet.
It was like within 6 hours.
Fuck around, find out.
Within 6 hours.
Yeah, but that's the thing is though, so I mean, being a veteran, doing all these things together, it's hard. And veterans, and every time that I sign off on this podcast, I always thank the veterans, first responders, firefighters, everything, because we may be done and we may have another plight in life, but those guys are still putting it on the line. Yeah. I have family that's cops. I have family that is in the military and they're still going. But I was looking at the recruiting numbers the other day. That's pretty scary.
Oh yeah, it's
recruiting
sad.
Numbers are. I mean, you go to any recruiting station, you can't even open the door. You got to buzz yourself in now. That's how fucked up the world is. There are Army recruiters have to have security.
Well, it's because of the shooting that took place in the recruiting station in the.
I was in recruiting at the time. Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
I was there. We heard about it. I was in the office. And like, hey, don't let anybody in the fucking door. Click, and the door went locked. The Marines weren't even there.
Right.
Not saying anything, but they were out doing PT. And then, well, the Air Force and Navy guys were never there to begin with. Trying to catch them, like, we went down to the Air Force. We were there like 3 days. They was signing a sheet. Nobody ever calls. I'm like, just come talk to me. Let's have a conversation. But we can dog them, but they put numbers up. Yeah. I know when I was a recruiter, the Air Force was requiring credit checks before you can get in.
Really?
Oh yeah. Jeez. Well, they hit their 100% every year. Army Marines, we don't hit our 100%. And we had many donut months because it's just like nobody's like, okay. But in Grant City, we had the steel mill and they would shut down like every 3 months.
Right.
Oh, we're laying off. Here comes the dad and son coming in there because they need the medical and everything else. Mm-hmm. And man, them boys they're roughnecks, man.
Oh yeah.
The Marines, we loved them. We'd sit out there, we'd do PT, play softball with them dudes. We had some fun. So, but other than that, I appreciate you guys coming on.
Yeah, we appreciate you.
And make sure I get your guys' Venmo. If anybody wants to donate, go to your website, riverbendpatriots.org, right?
Correct.
Okay. And you got a Facebook page, yes, Riverbend Patriots. You guys follow and like them. I'm serious. When mine comes out, I'll let you guys follow mine. But you guys, I appreciate you guys coming in. You guys always have a friend in me. And if you guys need anything,
likewise,
by all means, man, just reach out.
And then how do we?
I'm gonna give you my phone number. You're getting direct line.
Right. Yeah. Awesome.
Cool. I answer. I'll program you guys in because you know how it is when you guys run an organization. You get calls from people. Yeah. You have no idea why they're calling you. Yeah. But I'll give you guys my direct line and we can go from there. And
we do have a certified VSO now.
Do you really?
Yes, yeah.
Tell me about that.
So he's actually accredited from the DAV. In Granite City.
Okay.
Obviously, combat veteran, but reached out to him, and actually we met each other at Granite City VFW, which is right across the street from the DAV.
Yeah, I know exactly where it's at.
Okay. So he started talking about how he heard about Riverbend Patriots, and I was like, oh, well, I'm part of that. We started talking right there, and he's like, yeah, I'm a VSO, and I was like, well, we help. We're not certified, but we know how to navigate the stuff. We don't take money or anything for helping you. He's like, well, shit, you guys want me to? I'm certified. I'll come on board with you guys. I was like, yeah. He came to our first meeting Thursday, and since then he's already got one Alton police officer
up to 100%.
100%.
Well, and explain to everybody what a VSO actually is. I know I donate to the DAV. I'm a member of the DAV.
Yeah.
They are a great organization. Explain to people what VSO actually is.
It's a veteran service officer, so they get accredited. I'm not sure how the classes go or the schooling goes, but there is some kind of class in schooling to become certified, and they are taught to help you file claims, compensation claims through the VA. Mm-hmm. To get your ratings up.
Yeah, see, I went through the DAV. That's how I went from 40 to 70, and 70 to 90 is the whole time I went through the DAV. And great organization, guys. You just send stuff, and they take it from there. And they say, okay, fill this out, be here, do this.
Right.
And I donate to them, but they just require you to sign up so they know you're alive, and that's all they require. I donate to them, which is freaking awesome. But other than that, guys, I really do appreciate you coming in.
Yeah.
Corey hooks it up. He's like, hey, you're gonna deal with these guys. And I said, okay, I'll meet them. Shit, let's have a good time. And then I started looking. It's like, man, this is pretty badass. So I love what you guys do. And like I said, I'll make that donation as soon as we walk out of here, and we'll go from there.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. And thank you guys for tuning in to Rugged and Ruthless. My name is Joey. You're a cool host, sometimes an asshole, but it's all good. But lastly, I'd like to thank all my veterans out there. We love you. All our first responders, police officers. You guys are the true heroes. We get to tell your stories because you gave everything. So love you guys. We'll see you next week, and we'll go from there.